Good evening, everyone. So I did a bunch of rehousings again. So we're gonna get to that in a second. Um, I was watching Tarantula's cat new video, and she brought up an interesting topic about how, once you buy a tarantula or a gecko or invertebrate, I know how hard it can be once you get one. It kind of gets to where you end up with displays of animals. Or if you're like me and you want to help out, in the community, it's hard to find um, rescues for reptiles and stuff. Like, not that many people help rescue animals. A lot of times you find them abandoned in apartments, houses, and stuff like that. And she made a good point that when you find a species you like and you end up buying a bunch of the same species, and then later on you find out, hey, later on you realize there's a bunch of other species out there, and you end up wanting to buy a lot more, and then you end up running out of space and stuff, and it becomes somewhat of a problem, because then it's like, oh crap, like, now what am I going to do? I ran out of space. It's hard for me to upgrade or upsize because you have no space for your tarantulas to upgrade because you went and bought all these other ones. And like I wrote in the comments about, what I did. I don't know if this advice would help other people, but when you go and buy an animal or you get into the tarantula hobby and you find a species that's really cool and fascinating, right? What I did was, before I went and bought some of the tarantulas I bought, because I started liking tarantulas when I was 5. My first tarantula was named Jed. He was a Mexican redknee. I was only 5 years old. It was actually my stepfather's tarantula, but I ended up taking over. That's how my love for tarantulas started. So, my advice to people is research all the tarantulas out there, or if it's reptiles or snakes or something, do your research first. Find out what species are out there, and also realize what room you do have available for your animals, and if you would have to upgrade or anything, see how much space you have you can work with, and then make sure you also have the space to like upgrade. Like, yeah, you might think my room might be cluttered and stuff. Like I said, me moving in here was only temporary to help my mom while she recovered and stuff from her strokes that she was having and all that. Like, this is only temporary. I'm actually looking at houses, so my animals are gonna have a new animal room that's being built. So this is just temporary that me and my animals are in this room, honestly. They're actually going to be moving the next couple months. But my advice is check out all the species they have out there. See what they have first. And then if you want to, because the other topic was about, if you want to buy like 20 of this one species and all of a sudden you realize there's other species, and people are making a big controversy, like, is it wrong to own too many of the same species? I don't think there's a problem with owning too many of the species, as long as you take care of your spiders or like geckos or whatever. As long as you take care of them and they're in very good homes and they're housed properly, like, I don't think it honestly matters how many of that same species you got, because I have like 3 pumpkin patches. I have several avicularies. I have several curly hairs. I have a lot of bird eaters, pink salmon bird eaters. Like, I have a lot of certain species. And I'm aware of all the different other species that are out there. And I did my research and I saw which ones I really liked. And I picked the ones I really liked and really wanted to handle and work with. So I picked out the ones I wanted ahead of time. I did my research ahead of time. And I went from there, and then I started buying the ones that I wanted to get. And some of them are also rescues. I also rescued the ones I was able to rescue at the same time. But I also bought species, like a lot of slings I just got. I went and bought, or like I helped my friend out. She sells tarantulas, and she actually rescued a bunch from a guy posting them online. He was abusing his animals, so she rescued all the tarantulas that he had, but she didn't have any room. So she told me what was going on, and she brought me over all the new slings I got from her. She brought me over like the diversity collar, the little fossorial, the regal jumping spiders. Jisoo here, one of my new pink salmon bird eaters. She told me what all she had, and then I told her to just bring them over because I knew I'd have room for them, because I actually did have plenty of room. As you see, my slings are now over here because I just did a bunch of upgrades, like I said. And look, I made sure to have plenty of room for my upgrades, because my other GBB I just upgraded Spooky, that was over here, is now up there into that enclosure. Like I said, do your research first, then make sure you have room to also upgrade your animals, and then buy 20 million of whatever species you want. I don't think it's really a big deal. Like I said, as long as you have room to upgrade the animal, take care of them properly, I don't think it matters. Because now both of my GBBs are up there. I moved the aviculaires. I have them in a different spot, because this area is, like, the cold air comes in too much, and that's not always good for a certain species, especially the aviculaires. They're really sensitive, especially when it comes to certain things. So I moved them. They're actually downstairs where it's a little warmer for them. So the aviculaires, the only aviculaire up here right now is Raven, but I've been keeping an eye on her. She's doing beautiful, but the rest of them are downstairs. Salem, Ivy, Pumpkin, they're all downstairs, so they're doing okay. They're just in a different room. That's what I'm saying. As long as you have, like, space, other rooms to put your tarantulas in, especially if something like that also happens in certain situations, it's best to do. Sorry, my throat is, like, really dry. Like, I'm definitely getting a cold again. Here's my new Versity color. I named her Venus. It is now Venus. I put the little twins up there. The two little geckos, they're up there right now. This is Lucifer's cage. Lucifer is actually about to be rehoused. They're going to be rehoused in a little bit. I actually have a cage right down there set up. I only have it down there for a second. It's not staying down there, obviously. But, yeah, I pulled them out because they were right there. But now I have the fossorial. The fossorial one's going to stay right there. But anyways, but yeah, I have plenty of room for all my spiders. But like I said, if you have plenty of room for your tarantulas, you have space for your tarantulas, get whatever you want. Do whatever you want, but make sure you do the research. That way, if you come across a species that you really do like, and you find interesting later on, and you're like, dang, I wish I would have gotten this, and now I have no room, what should I do? And then you feel like you gotta trade that your spiders, or half your spiders you got, just to get these new ones, which you shouldn't really do. Because I think people that do that, I don't think that's really fair to the animal. Like, you got that tarantula in the beginning for a reason, because you originally liked that spider, but then you found new ones that you liked, and then you might trade it just because you found a new species. I kind of find that's kind of wrong to do, because obviously you originally got that first tarantula for a reason, because you originally liked it. Just because you found another species you like, and now you're out of room, you want to sell that one because now all of a sudden you found a different one that's a lot cooler or something. I don't think that's right. I think what you should do is either wait until like one of your animals die and then you have the room for them, or I don't know. I don't think it's right to sit there and resell the animals you originally had just because you found something else. Because that's kind of not fair to the tarantula. It's like, it's not the tarantula's fault that all of a sudden you decide to find a different species that's cooler than that one. Like, I don't think it's kind of fair to it. Like, Boo, that used to be in there, is now in here. kind of mad at me still. Some of them weren't happy with them rehousing, but like how much cleaner that is. That once I cleaned them out, obviously. I cleaned it out. Once I was gonna rehouse the Trinidad Olive, but this one is such a pain in my butt. Cause I'm gonna rehouse it. I'm still gonna rehouse it, obviously, but I'm gonna wait until I find a different cage to put it in because that one's so evil. I don't know if we can see the pumpkin patch. This is my older pumpkin patch, my first pumpkin patch. The other two pumpkin patches are so tiny. So tiny. So, they're still too small to rehouse. But this is my other one. This is Jinx. I don't know if we're gonna be able to find them. They ran like right into the middle. Normally you can see their abdomen, because obviously pumpkin patches have those bright colored, pretty little booties. But I don't see them down there somewhere. I'm sure they'll pop out soon enough because it is nighttime. So, but yeah, I rehoused one of the pumpkin patches into here. I don't like to keep my pumpkin patches in the those containers very long. Like, I hate those containers, but I gotta get different ones from Tarantula Crib to put the slings into, because I'm actually thinking about getting some of those little coffin enclosures for like the jumping spiders like Tarantula Cat did, but obviously do mine up a lot different than hers. But I saw a little bit of cute enclosures for slings from Tarantula Crib, so I want to check out some of their stuff. Oh, there's Psycho. There's Psycho being Psycho. They're still doing beautifully. It's a little psychopath. But yeah, soon enough, this one will be bigging into another enclosure too. But yeah, they're doing great. All my slings are doing beautifully. They're doing so cute. Even though that one's a little psychopath. It just runs off. I wish the Trinidad Olive would pop out more. It's really pretty. Its abdomen is absolutely gorgeous. And of course the Hattie Hattie and the purple tree spider. I got to spurt some water into their enclosures. They like to have a little bit more of a moist enclosure than the others. So I spritz these guys at least 3 times a week. Not a lot of water, just a little spritz on each side since they're still kind of small. I do that with my other earth tiger species, my Naples earth tiger and my red rump earth tiger that I have, which I gotta spray all of them down today. I make a chart when I spray them all down. But yeah, poor Boo. Just not the happiest until he's right now. They're like, you are evil, woman. Oh, bye. Why you gotta be so mean? But yeah, they have a lot more bigger space. I know, they had a very beautiful web. Very beautiful setup. The whole side was like tunneled and webbed up really pretty. Which I hated having to destroy and stuff, but I needed space for them to grow more because obviously they are getting a lot bigger, and I want them just to have like better space for them. Plus the pumpkin patch was getting to be a certain size too, and they couldn't keep staying in obviously that sling container, so they got pretty. I love Antilles, yeah. Antilles Versi colors, like Brazilian blues, I love all that coloring. And of course I put the leaf litter in there for them. And I always put in like sphagnum moss and stuff because I like to wet that down. Because obviously water bowls can be a pain in the butt sometimes. And if they bury their water bowls all the time or they web them up all the time, you know it's a hassle, I still give them water bowls. Like, trust me, I give them water bowls and stuff. But if that keeps happening, like I deal with, put in like a ball of sphagnum moss like that. Because not only does it look natural, but you can wet this and soak it with water, which is great for slings. And they would drink from that. They would get the water from that too. Besides spritzing like some water onto their webbing. But I also find this works very well too, especially like I said for slings. But there's the beautiful little versicolor boo. I really hope it's a girl, because I hope but look how big they're getting. They're getting a lot bigger. So that's why I made sure to do more upgrades. But yeah, like I said, like a certain species I really do love. But I also made sure to I had plenty of different variety of tarantulas I wanted to get. Same with my reptiles. Like, I love geckos. Geckos is one of my favorite species of lizard. So that's why I have a different variety. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna drop. But that's why I also have a wide variety of my geckos. I got my leopard geckos. I got my crested geckos. I got like my tokay geckos. But I lost my marble gecko Rex, but I had him for a long time. And I mean, I had him for a while. And then I got, of course, my flying gecko. She's not out right now. And of course, Beta, he's hiding. He's becoming a fatty, my one crested gecko. Then I have the golden gecko over here. And then, of course, y'all saw Athena. She likes to be out a lot. She was out. I don't know where she went this time. She was hunting crickets earlier. She is my skunk gecko. And then, of course, I have my African banded toe gecko, Bella, which I am getting another gecko here soon. And of course, Clary. She's my other crested gecko. Oh, I have the dune geckos over there. And then I have the two little twins up there. They're my other little geckos. I can't say the name. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not good with saying names. Not even the Latin names from. Those little ones that start with a P. I can't say them. I really can't say them. They're little tiny things. Look at Ming Ming back there. She's so cute. Just like I said, I have several leopard geckos. I have several crested geckos. I have all kinds of geckos. Like I said, geckos is my favorite species of lizard. When I move, I'm going to be getting all kinds of corn snakes. I'm going to be getting some ball pythons. I'm going to be getting a lot more snakes when I move. And a lot more tarantulas, because I found a place that has a big basement. That's going to be a tarantula / reptile room. Where are you at? Zeus is hiding like always. Ever since Zeus shedded. They're down in there somewhere. Funny little tarantula. That's my Mexican white knee. I think they dug down even deeper. Oh yeah, like there's a tunnel system that goes down farther now. They've been really digging a lot. I caught them carrying dirt back and forth the other day. That was so stinking cute. And then I got spurts down this enclosure because this is my red rump earth tiger, and then the Naples earth tiger species right over there. They're on top of the Mexican fire leg cage. I love Mexican fire legs. Anything like the Mexican red knees, the Mexican white knees, the Mexican flame, Mexican fire leg, Mexican red rumps. Basically, any Mexican type species I really, really love. I find them very beautiful. Of course, my obsession started with them when I was 5, when I had my my Mexican red knee Jed. Oh, they're down there. They've been hiding down there a lot lately. They're really, really pretty. This is Midnight's cage. You know, it's hard to tell because I say Midnight 1 minute and then I say Zeus the next minute, because their cages are literally right next to each other's. Because there's them and then there's them. But well, everybody's done beautifully. But yeah, if you guys, I just think it's a topic that should be discussed more, and I think like keepers should bring this up more, or like influence, like anybody in the reptile community should talk about this topic more, about, like, if you have, like I said, if you love reptiles or you're new to getting reptiles or tarantulas, and then you go expo, you find like the reptiles and stuff you love, or if you know you're going to an expo, right? Do your research on the animals or watch videos what could possibly be at the expos. That way you already know what you're looking for. And that way, you know what you want to buy, but make sure you actually want to buy that animal. That way, later on, if you find something else, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm out of room, and then the first animal you originally bought that you wanted so badly, you end up rehousing or getting rid of just because you want to get a new species of something, that I don't think that's kind of fair to the animal, especially if you had it for a long time and all of a sudden you want to, like, get rid of a bunch of animals because you found all these new species that you thought were cool and stuff. I don't think that's right. I think what you should do is do your research and make sure you research everything, look at everything that's out there to purchase, and make sure you always buy captive bred animals. Dude, try not to go for a wild card or anything, but doing the captive bred animals is saving our animals and helping out with the reptile community. Because what a lot of us are trying to do are trying to save a lot of these species. Because unfortunately, a lot of our animals, a lot of our tarantulas, a lot of our reptiles, they're dying off from deforestation, humans, they're tearing down habitats, the nature just destroying their homes from natural disasters. So just try to buy captive bred. That way we can try to save and preserve our beautiful species. But yeah, just do your research, guys. Just do your research, and that way you can see there's thousands of videos on YouTube and so many different sites on people going to expos or about a lot of species and about them and where they're from, their care, their habitats. But yeah, just research these beautiful animals first, and then really pick out what you really want. And if you want to get 20 million of that species and you have the room for it, go for it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. As long as they're loved and taken care of, I don't think it matters. Right? Look at that beautiful spider. This is why I love these guys. They're just so fascinating, so cool. They're so cute. I can watch these guys all night. A lot of times I actually do. I actually stay up all night watching my animals because they're just so fascinating and so gorgeous. I'm guessing they're picking a spot where to start their new web, since I kind of had to take them out of the other enclosure. But like I said, they needed rehoused. It needed a bigger enclosure. And yeah, I know it's still small. I could have stayed in that one a little bit longer, but I feel that it needed rehoused, because look at that. They've grown since I've had them in that other enclosure. And I want to make sure they have plenty of space to roam around too. That's another thing. Like, I see people wait to rehouse them, and it's like the animal. You see them in the enclosure, and then next thing you know, they're in this tiny enclosure, and then you see them rehousing some big, like, spider or something that was cramped up in a small enclosure. And it's like, I should have probably rehoused it a little bit before that. But I can't tell people what to do with their own animals. I just do what I do to take care of mine. They're very adventurous tonight. But before this video gets too long and I lose my voice, which I definitely feel that's going to be happening soon, I need to go take some cough medicine. So I will catch up with you guys a little bit later, because I know I probably won't be able to sleep very well. So we'll see what these guys are up to later.